Hey y'all, I wanted to come in today and just talk about something different. I couldn't think of anything to speak on. I like speaking about life situations, which that's my main thing. The funnest thing for me to, I'm saying the funnest thing. Yeah, I enjoy talking about life. But and it's Princess Diana, by the way. If it's my picture, my videos coming in kind of smeared, and forgive me, but I wanted to commentate on Druski. I think his name is Druski, the younger guy, kind of big tall guy with he wears his hair blonde at the top. Yeah, his his, what is it, like his church, the mega church skit. Look, y'all, the people who are going crazy about him saying he's, picking on God, or he's not picking on God, he's picking at God or Jesus or whatever. Like, I don't think that's what he's doing. I think he just kind of copying what the people, the ministers were doing. That's really it. And that makes me think that does tie into what I was going to talk about. Taking accountability, taking accountability. I think what I was originally going to speak about was not so much taking accountability, but being able to accept the truth for what it is, facing facts. Those ministers, they kind of, when they got back to church that next Sunday or whenever they had their next program or whatever, they kind of put the onus on Druski, and the blame game was on Druski. All the members, not all the members, some of the members know the skit was funny. And now, if a person thinks it's being disrespectful, okay, I get that, but I think he wasn't trying. I don't think he was trying to be disrespectful, but and somebody mentioned he was cursing and everything. I get that part. If you're a Christian or whatever, you're trying to be Christ-like, cursing and stuff like that might not be. It's not the way to go, basically. But I think he did an awesome job, because. And if people, you can laugh at that stuff, but it's really it's actually sad that some people, I think they are, instead of being a follower of Christ or, God, if you're a Christian, you should be, I think you're mostly a follower of Christ, even though you do believe in God, which would be Christ's Father, right? That's in heaven. So I don't think that he was making fun of Christ at all, or God. He was not making fun of, let me turn my thing this way because I'm leaving work. I don't want people from work seeing me record. People are nosy. But he was not making fun of or making light of. He was just simply showing what these people were doing. They literally, people were taking videos, or whether it would be the people that were designated, the committee at church, the videographer and all that stuff like that, or a actual person. People had their phones out everywhere, video video recording stuff and whatnot. So regardless of what, people have this footage of these ministers doing some really wild stuff at church, and the congregation, the fact to be a member of that congregation and to continue to be a member of the congregation now, because if I see you doing something kind of crazy and I continue to go, it's on me. At that point, I can't even say anything bad about the pastor or the minister doing whatever they're doing. And I'm not here to dog ministers out, because there are some people that are some decent ministers out here. I know a lot of people talk, always pick on ministers because of the bad ones, or the not so good ones. But just like anybody out here, they are a man or a woman or whatever they are. They are a person, and people are whatever they are, whatever they choose to be. So we gotta know that please know, y'all, if you are one of those members, and to please, first off, read your Bible. Really get to know your Bible, the word that's in the scriptures, the words that are in the scriptures. And also, pray. You can say pray or meditate on those words as God or, Jesus to guide you and help you to understand, have discernment to help you to understand what is being said in the scriptures, and also to give you discernment on, who you should best fellowship with if you choose to go to church, or under, right? So you won't be misled, because it's, it's really sad, especially the adults. And then, think about the babies, the children, like they're growing up in it. They had one minister, what did he do? He was he was just cursing. It was just cursing and cursing at Druski, not at him, but like cursing and saying the MF word and all this stuff about Druski. That person, that the M word and all that stuff like that, and F word him and all that stuff, and in the pulpit, probably on Sunday morning. Imagine that, y'all. Imagine that you go to church or synagogue or wherever you go, and then the doggone minister, priest, or whoever is up there just, I'm from down south, just cussing. You know what I mean? F-bombs and M-bombs and D-bombs and S-bombs, all over the place in the pulpit. And then some people are like, yes. Like they're in agreement. But if you could agree with the guy, but the fact that he's cursing at church in the pulpit, and you're supposed to be the leadership, so you are a grand example to everybody that follows you, and if they accept that, then wow. And the crazy part is when you have that type of leadership and you have those type of followers underneath that that type of leadership. These are people, everyday people that we work with, that we're just out in the world with. That's tough, and that's sad, y'all. That's really sad. And I'm just really hoping that since that God will reach these people's minds and reach their minds, you know what I mean? And so that they can understand that this is not cool. It's not cool at all to follow somebody like this. So I just wanted to bring that up. But the Druski Skit, y'all, it was so funny. Y'all please check the Druski Skit out, because it was funny. It was hilarious. He was spot on. And then also, I've seen them on Instagram. I'm pretty sure they're all over social media. So you can find the original clips of these pastors and ministers of those mega churches. I think they were all mega churches, doing the things that he was mocking. So, or you can just say he was reenacting. I just want to say reenacting, because I don't even think it was just so the way that they do what they do, it's a performance. So it's just as funny as what Druski doing, but the fact that it's a real life scenario and they're doing it and it's not supposed to be taken lightly is scary. What Druski is doing, it ain't hurt nobody. It's just making people think. Okay, one thing about comedians, if you ever go see a comedian live or you see them on TV, people are just laughing and laughing and laughing. If you can think, comedians are usually just not funny. They're real deep thinkers, most of them. If they're a really good, talented comedian, they're telling you a story. They're not just joking. They use a lot of satire. They're actually trying to prove a point while making it funny. And it kind of goes over, I think it actually might go over a lot of people's heads. So if you just sat up there as a comedian and got up there and spoke real seriously about stuff, a lot of people be like, they might go to sleep, be drooling and whatnot, or just not, I don't really like that guy, he's boring, even though he's saying something that might actually help somebody or raise awareness to people. But if you use some some humor, a lot of people like that. People like to laugh for the most part. They don't, there's a lot of things you got to take serious, paying bills and all that stuff like that. But when you get time to just relax, a lot of people just to want to relax and just kick back, and comedy is one of those things. And it's like an easier pill to swallow with humor. So if you let anything go over your head when you go to a comedy show, not just some goofball, but even with them, like, I might want to listen. You might want to listen. There's usually something behind what they're saying, okay? Behind the joke. So I think Druski did a good job. Shout out to Druski. Wherever y'all out there, young man, I think you did a great job, and I'm really glad that he did that, because it's putting people on Front Street. And I really pray that people will do, those people in that congregation that God will open the hearts and the mind, their ears, their mind, give them discernment so that they can understand better that this is not right. The things that they have been taught, maybe growing up, everything that we've been taught is not always right. Some people do the best they can because they might have, their parents might have, had them in a church, old backwoods church somewhere. That's what we call it, old backwoods church, down south, where, they, it was a bunch of nonsense, but they went along with it. They don't know no better. But we do know better now that we get older. We have a brain. If you believe in God, you know that the Creator has provided you with a brain so you can think. And there's no sin in that. No sin in that. But yeah, I just want to come talk about that Druski skit, y'all. But let me know what y'all think. All right, y'all.